Hi everybody, it's Marcy, working a little bit on my design team project for April, and I'm going to use Dear Julie's Mimi's Flowers. I love this kit because it's very vibrant. Now she does in the kit have pages that are done in a vignette or vignette, and they're not as vibrant as these, but for what I'm doing, I love the vibrant pages. So I've not printed out everything, but just the pages I expect to be using. So here we have some collage. And all the pages are very similar, but I'm okay with that for this project. And then there's a collage page with obviously music and some flinch cards and postcards. I printed 2 of those. And then one of the ephemera pieces are these 4 postcards. So, what I'm actually going to work on today is an ephemera journal. I've got a lot of stuff that I've got to get put away somehow, and this particular one, I'm going to start out labels. I use a lot of Tracy Fox labels. I love her labels. I've got Kara Brandon labels. I've got labels that need a good home altogether so that when I'm making something, I can pick and choose what I want to use. So I'm going to use 3 file folders. You could do this with scrapbook paper, but I really enjoy using file folders where I can. Okay, so the first thing, I actually pulled that out a little prematurely. I apologize. The first thing I'm going to do is take my folder, and it's got the pre-scored lines on it. So I'm going to fold it on the outermost of the pre-scored lines. And with the file folders I've got, that gives me a 3/4 inch spine. Okay. So then there, and I've got a 3/4 inch spine. So now I'm ready for my cutter, and I'm going to, and this gets a little bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie, especially with the cutter I'm using. I want my journal to be 6 inches wide, so I'm gonna line this up on the 6 inch line, this spine edge on the 6 inch line, cut it, then I'm going to turn it around and line the other spine edge up on the 6 inch line. And cut it. All right. So that's that one. Now my other 2 folders are going to become pages. So for these, I'm going to put the open edge, and I'm going to cut them at, and the folder is folded, So I'm just going to line that up and cut it at, if I can get it lined up, at 5 3/4. So a 1/4 inch smaller than the outside cover. So, and then I'm going to cut it down to 9 inches tall. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with my other file folder. So 5 3/4. And 9 inches. Okay. And then I've got some great leftovers for, that would be like a great flip up tag. And just some little cut-offs that can be used for tags, journal cards, anything you want. Okay, now, on the cover piece, I haven't cut it down to 9 inches because I'm going to be making pockets. So I probably do, before I do this though, I do want to pull out my scoreboard and I'm going to score at 9 inches. And you'll see I'm going to have to flip this because the width of my file folder is just a little longer than the length of my scoreboard. So I'm marking that at 9 inches to just inside my spine so that I can see where it is. Then I'm going to score this one at 9 inches, flip it over, score it the other way, and same thing. I'm just going to bring it to right inside there so I can see that score line inside the spine. Okay. So now, what I want to do is take my scissors and I'm going to cut where my spine is, where the edge of my spine is. I'm going to cut to the outside of that by, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. And cut that up to my score line. Okay, then I'm going to cut the other side as well. Outside of my spine and up to my score line. Turn that just a hair shade further. Okay. Now I can take, now you could use scissors and just cut out that little excess. I'm going to take my metal ruler and my X-Acto knife and cut that away. All right. So now I can fold that up. And where did my bone folder go? There it is. Use my bone folder to flatten that out, to get a good crease in it. And same there. I'm going to round the inside corners. Okay. And then that is my cover. And eventually, these pages will go inside my cover. And everything seems to line up pretty well. I've got a little bit. My cover extends over my pages by just a bit, which is exactly what I want. Okay. So, the next thing I'm going to do is put that mat away. The next thing, actually, pull the mat back out. And on my spine, I'm going to use, I've got some of this white medical tape. It's fabric medical tape. And I want to put that down my spine just for a little added security. I know this is just an ephemera folder for me, but when I'm making stuff like this, I get really frustrated if it starts tearing. I don't want to have to spend time repairing it once it's made. I just want to perhaps, why not? Might as well just take that and wrap it all the way around. Assuming I can. There we go. Helps to get it on there relatively straight. And cut that off. Okay. And again, just use my bone folder to secure those edges. I'll go back and do the inside in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess off the top. And this fabric medical tape that I'm using, it was actually a Quake brand from Walmart, really inexpensive, and it's just been wonderful to use. Now, I'm not going to on this project because there is white in the, you know, I normally don't like white, but this has white borders on it, so I'm just going to leave that white. That's not going to, in this case, that will not bother me. Okay. So there's that. And for, out of abundance of caution, I don't think I'll do it on both the inside and the outside, but I think I will go ahead and put tape up both my pages. just like this. Okay, so I'll do that to the other page here in just a moment. Then after that, what I'm going to do is take my everything but the postcard page, and I am going to pull out my trimmer again. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to do them about half at a time. And I am going to, these are set up as pages to be folded and put in a journal. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to cut them down at 5.5, which would be the center of the page. And I'm going to do that for both sets. All right. So now I have a bunch of, in this case, I think should have 12 of them. 5.5 by 8.5 pages cut down. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover all of my surfaces. And oh, see, I goofed because now I don't know. I mean, I can figure it out, but I stacked them wrong. No. Okay, I don't know that is no. Sorry. No. Well, where? No. Almost has to be that, doesn't it? Yes. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Phew. Looked at it 4 times and couldn't see it. Okay. So just because, and you could skip this step entirely, but I love having I love for my ephemera folders to, I like to look at them. So that's the reason I go through all the trouble of decorating it at all, is because if I don't think, ooh, that's pretty, or ooh, that makes me happy, I'm less apt to use it. So what I'm going to do is all the pages that I cut, I'm going to cover each surface. So I think I'm going to use that for my front and back covers. flip over, and I don't know which pages specifically I will use yet, but let's say maybe I want that there and that there. And I'm also going to cover each of the pages that I made, each surface. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to cover all of those.